Hi, my name is Kelsey Hicks, and I'll be covering Topic 1, Interpersonal Communication and General Concepts. First question, based on what you read in Chapter 1, what are the communication principles? 5 key things for communication principles are: it can be intentional or unintentional. What you say can or do can have a very different meaning than what you want it to be. Communication is irreversible. Depending on what you have said or how it was said, you can try to reverse what has been done. Please note, doing this can be hard, as trust can be hard to reestablish with people. It's impossible not to communicate. Even if you're not saying anything, your body language can portray a lot. So even when you think you aren't communicating, you are. Communication is unrepeatable. You can never have the same conversation with someone as you previously had. No matter how you mimic it, things and circumstances may change. Has content and relation dimensions. You want to make sure that what you're saying is what you mean, that you aren't saying or aren't just talking to make sounds and noises. Have purposes with your speech. Explain why transactional communication or interpersonal communication may accurately explains what happens when individuals communicate than does the linear model. Transactional model of speaking is better because it allows for more open line of communication as opposed to the linear communication. Linear communication is more a one-way in that the sender or speaker is talking and the receiver or listener is taking the message but not responding. With transactional model, you can see information flowing back and forth from one speaker to the listener and vice versa. Therefore, it is a better model. What is the relationship between self-concept, self-esteem, and communication? With communication, it's important to have a good relationship between self-concept and self-esteem and communication. With self-concept, you need to have a belief in what you are talking about. If you don't have belief in anything that you are saying, it's hard for you to back your opinions. This goes in hand with self-esteem. You need to have the confidence to believe in what you're talking about and have the courage to back your opinion. When you put the two together, you'll have a better understanding what it means to have good communication and the importance of having confidence and the means to justify your communication when you're talking to people. How do the influences on perception affect communication in specific situations? When someone has an influence on perception, it can change the dynamics of a specific situation. You can sway people to believe something that they may not normally believe. Take, for example, a celebrity that endorses something that you may not like. If you take their opinion seriously, they can influence how you feel about the situation. Explain how you use the pillow method in a disagreement in the workplace. When a disagreement in the workplace is encouraged to use the pillow method, this is a method of thinking so that you're seeing and listening to all aspects of the disagreement as opposed to the I'm right, you're wrong method. This is a good tool to have because then you can hear what people have to say, and it can even change your opinion if it fits the situation. By listening to someone, you're helping to calm down the situation. You can have a clear picture of what is going on and make a sound decision as opposed to one made on emotions. After everything you've learned in this course, how would you explain the meaning of interpersonal communications? After this course, the way I would explain interpersonal communications is knowing that everyone is different. Everyone will have a different method of communication, so if the form matches the way that you communicate, and some forms will not match the way that we communicate, it's always smart to make sure that you're listening and looking to see how someone is communicating with you. In conclusion, when it comes to communicate, it's always good to try and have an open line of communication with other people. As soon as you shut yourself off or use a linear form of communication, your point of view sorry, my cat's attacking me. Ouch. There are lots of forms of communication, so it's always good to make sure you're using what method works best for you. Always keep in mind that even if you aren't verbally speaking, what you're saying through your body language can have a major impact on your communications. You will never go without communication with other people, so you need to be certain what you're saying and what you're doing is being interpreted the way you want it to be. I'm not very good with public speaking, as you can see, so I'm sorry if this wasn't the best video. Hope you guys had a good class, good course here, and I wish you all the best in your future. Have a good night. Bye.